Good morning. I've picked a title for this today on Matthew 23. Now, I'm going to just highlight a few verses out of it, but I suggest you read the whole lot. These are words that Jesus spoke, and it's very dangerous, for a believer to realize these things and learn these things. So I just want to quote a couple of verses out of it today that spoke to me. I say the whole chapter is beautiful, so we need to look at it. So the verses I want to highlight on today is in Matthew 23, verses 8 to 12. That's one of the sections. Another one is verses 23 and 26. Okay, so Jesus is talking here about being religious. Sometimes we play religious games, and Jesus warns us to stop playing religious games. This is dangerous. So we read here. From verse 18 is really spoken about people, what they're like. And it says in verse 8, but as for you, do not call rabbi because you have one teacher, right? You're all brothers. You see, we're all equal in Christ, and no one is superior in any way. They may have a gift. They may have a gift which looks very important, but all gifts are important. One of the people I was told of was this lady, and a very old lady, and I think whenever she passed away, they looked at her room and she was praying for everybody throughout the world, different missions, all. That woman was a special place. Now, she didn't show herself much, but she done a great work for God in prayer. So we're all the same in the eyes of God. No one's superior. Verse 8, but as for you, be, do not be called rabbi because you have one teacher and you're all brothers. Do not call anyone on earth your father because you have one father who is in heaven. And do not call masters because you have one master, the Messiah. Listen carefully, verse 11. The greatest among you will be the servant. Verse 12. Anyone who exalts himself will, will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. And that's very uh, powerful there. I'll read that verse again. So whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. So that's the way to proceed in your Christian life. Realize that you're a sinner, realizing that keep it low and look up to Jesus, all the time, and just know your place. God's superior, and don't call anybody father or don't call anybody teacher. You're all brothers, as he says. Don't exalt anyone else, either. Okay, it talks here in the next verses about all the woes, and the word woe, I think it means trouble will come. So trouble will come to all these people who behave like this in these next verses. But I want to go on down today to verse 23. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You pay a tenth of mint and dill homer, yet you've neglected the most important matters of the law. Now, this is the most important. This is what we should be working on: justice, mercy, and faith. These things have been done without neglecting the others. So it warns us there, doesn't it? Very much so. And there's another wee verse there, and uh, 26, it says, blind Pharisees, first clean the inside of a cup, and the outside of it will be also become clean. And there's no doubt there what it tells us. I worked on a building site, and sometimes your wee mug at tea time, 10 o'clock, can get very dirty inside. And we used to do it really rough as we would go to the sand pile and wash it out with sand and scrub it all, and that's what we need to do with our hearts. It's not what's outside that matters, it's what's inside. And all the time, it's a kind of heart you have. So be very careful when you see someone looking, nothing wrong with breaking. You've always got to look at your heart all the time. And God says that the heart of man is wicked and very evil, So we got to look at that. I was told one time this saying, uh, it's not by our suits, it's by our fruits you shall know them. And that's very true. And sometimes we are trying to look right instead of being right with God. So may the Lord bless you today. These are very, very challenging verses. And I suggest you read the whole chapter and learn by it. It's the only time it's one of the times where, Jesus talked very sharp to everybody. And he has the right to do that because he's God. And you can't question that in any way. May the Lord bless you today. Bye.